A person challenged himself to turn $100 into $1 million in just 90 days. The true story of American billionaire Glenn Stearns begins in Erie, Pennsylvania. At the age of 59, Glenn had battled throat cancer and recovered. He had nothing but an old car, a cell phone with no service, and $100. He decided to turn that $100 into $1 million in just 90 days. Would he succeed? He found that the cost of living in Erie was $1,100 per month to cover rent, gas for his car, and food. This meant his living expenses for 3 months would total around $3,300. Therefore, his goal for the first week was to make $3,300. To save money, he slept in his car and ate instant noodles. He even worked with a charity to provide meals for the poor and homeless just to save and earn some for himself. By the third day, his money was almost gone, leaving him with just $29 after food expenses. He rented a night at a small hotel, and he needed to act fast. Glenn's experience was mostly in sales, so he took 2 jobs as a salesperson. The first was selling tennis balls, but he failed completely. He then found a part-time job printing t-shirts for someone named RJ and earned his first $60, leaving him with around $89. He posted an ad offering to work any job and was offered $80 to clean an apartment, increasing his capital to $169. On the last day of the first week, he learned there was a big festival in town, so he bought products suitable for sale at the festival for $165, such as printed t-shirts, gifts, and balloons. He used his new relationship with RJ to sell at the festival, and they made a profit of $414 that day. Although he didn't meet his goal for the first week due to his poor living conditions, sleeping in the car, and eating unhealthy food, at the age of 59, he had to visit the doctor and pay $200. On the 9th day, he looked for anything he could sell and found someone buying car tires. He didn't miss the opportunity and went to scrapyards looking for usable tires to sell. He found 5 tires and contacted a seller named Cody to negotiate for new tires. At the scrapyard, Cody had 2 usable tires, and after negotiating, Glenn managed to sell them for $1,500 each. With $164 left as a deposit, he earned about $1,700 in total. Glenn then found an apartment for rent at $400 a month, bought a cheap mattress to sleep on, and even though he was sleeping on the floor, it was still better than the car. He knew that to operate in the market he was in, he had to work strategically. He conducted research at a strategic research center and found that locally produced beverages were a good option to start in Erie. He studied the market carefully and got feedback from cafe goers on what they liked and disliked. He realized that most cafes were not progressing, despite being popular, so he decided to open one himself. However, he needed at least $400,000 to start the business. In an effort to earn money faster, Glenn began searching for used car dealerships and found a Honda Civic online with a dealer who was liquidating their project. He negotiated with the seller and bought it for $700, cleaned the car, and sold it for $4,500, making a profit of $3,900. His capital now reached almost $4,000, which brought him closer to his goal. Glenn decided to continue in the used car trade and started looking for more cars to flip. He researched and found a good deal on a car, purchased it for $1,500, and after washing it, sold it for $7,600. By day 20, his capital had grown to $9,000, and he knew that to reach his goal quickly, he needed to venture into real estate. With his experience in mortgage loans, he knew he could pay a down payment on any house and let the bank cover repair costs. He started looking for cheap homes and found one needing repairs, but it wouldn't be a profitable venture due to time and cost constraints. However, he found a suitable house, paid a $6,600 down payment, and with the bank's loan approval for $100,000, he started the renovation. But as renovations took longer than expected, Glenn found himself at risk of losing everything. By day 32, he was in serious trouble, and the cost of repairs had reached $9,600, leaving him with just $500. While waiting for the home repairs, Glenn prepared for his restaurant project. He began interviewing and building a team for his cafe, but encountered issues with licensing. After consulting with a lawyer who charged him $1,000, Glenn learned that opening a liquor store would require a special license, which would cost between $45 and $90. One day, he stumbled upon a used Escalade car, and during a visit to the owner, he learned that the car needed new tires. After negotiating with the seller, Glenn bought it for $1,500, and after cleaning it, he sold it for $7,600, bringing his capital to $9,000 by day 20. Glenn continued to seek affordable homes and found one that needed a significant amount of work. With a $6,600 down payment, he started renovations with the help of his team. Despite unexpected challenges, he persisted in his mission to build his business empire. By day 72, he finally sold the home after repairs for $75,000 in cash, making a net profit of $20,000 after deducting repair costs and the mortgage. He used the proceeds to finance his restaurant and branding project. Glenn now needed to focus on quickly opening his restaurant. With only 18 days remaining, he searched for a suitable place to open a barbecue restaurant, focusing on local beverages to supplement the menu. During this time, Glenn continued to research, finding a local barbecue expert to help him cater to large events. They decided to use a converted water tank as a grill, which was a unique and cost-effective solution. They made final preparations for a festival in Erie, and on the day of the event, they reached a profit of $21,600, pushing them closer to their goal. Despite the challenges, by day 90, Glenn successfully launched the Underdog Barbecue brand. While he didn't meet his goal of $1 million in 90 days, his business was poised to grow exponentially in the future. Glenn's strategy was to create a brand that could be franchised, and through online sales of sauces and beverages, as well as local restaurant sales, his brand gained widespread recognition. In the end, the Underdog Barbecue brand reached a market value of $700,000 by day 90. While Glenn did not achieve his $1 million goal in the short term, his business was well on its way to surpassing that milestone in the future. The events described were part of the real-life story filmed for the Undercover Billionaire series. If you're curious why Glenn did this, despite being a billionaire, he said it was because of his battle with throat cancer. He wanted to prove to himself that his success wasn't just luck, and to show his children that perseverance leads to success. At the end of the 90 days, Glenn revealed his true identity to the team. He was the famous American billionaire Glenn Stearns.